Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I did just want to kind of briefly discuss the COVID lockdown. I thought it was a good topic to kind of just delve into because I feel like it was like such a significant time for like everyone, pretty much everyone around the world. And it like did like incur some like, big changes and things that I feel just did, awakened some people up to some sort of like ideas or concepts, or kind of just changed some things like around the world and for certain people, and just like impacted us all a little bit in different ways. So, and I guess like for myself, like it just gave me a few like realizations or just some little like thought ideas about things and stuff. So I thought that would be an interesting area to delve into. So I guess firstly, like with the lockdown, with like there was like the standard things that I feel like it showed us a lot about society and stuff, like how much changes and stuff occurred when we were able to just like slow down so much like globally in that way. Just even things like how much less pollution and stuff there was from people just like driving around so much, or the ability of like working from home, like how much that really took off from like COVID, people not needing to, go into the office and stuff to get things done or drive into work, instead just being able to do it from home. So it brought along some like beneficial changes, or different, changes in awareness and perspective in that aspect that I think was really good. And I feel like as well, it kind of gave like a lot of people like a forced slowdown, and kind of forced people into kind of, sitting with themselves and their thoughts a little more, rather than just being on the go, or almost like a forced little break for a lot of people in that way, which I feel like could have even, spurred and instigated a lot of people's own awakening journeys as well. I feel like the COVID lockdown time was quite a significant time in that aspect for a lot of people's journeys. Interestingly enough. And then just like some other things that I guess for myself that it kind of made me think about, just with, the whole idea of how, I don't know too much about other countries or other areas and such, but for myself, like in Australia, I can speak from, there was, a lot of people just not needing to go to work or, stayed home. So it was essentially just the essential service jobs that people were still going to and working. And then people that weren't, say, able to work and get payment still were like getting money from the government, like getting paid from the government so that they could, still live and pay their bills and everything like that, considering it's not their fault that they can't go to work. But I guess just that whole concept and idea really just kind of made me think like why we don't do things like that a little bit more normally anyway. Like it just seems like we have all these jobs that aren't really essential, that why is like everybody wasting their time at them if they're not even essential? The world still went on. I'm not saying all the jobs, like some of the jobs that weren't classed as essential we still would like and would need, but I just feel like there's like so many jobs that it's like we're almost just out there doing them for the sake of doing them. And it's like, imagine if instead we just did essential jobs as the only jobs we have, like the jobs we need for society to run. And if we all just like split our time between those essential service jobs, we'd all only have to work like 2 or 3 days a week, rather than working, say, like 5-day weeks, 38-hour weeks, or, even more, or whatever it may be. But it just seems like there's probably just so many unnecessary, jobs that are just doing, that seem at first glance like, oh yeah, that's a worthwhile job to have, or we should be doing that. But when we really like look at it or think about it, like it's not really that necessary for the functioning of our society. So like, why bother wasting our time, energy, effort, and production, and all that sort of stuff on those jobs, when instead we could just share the essential jobs, and then everyone just has like so much more time to just live and be and do, and So I thought that was just like a really interesting concept and idea from the lockdown that made me kind of think like, why are we going so much straight back to the status quo and just going back to all these jobs that a lot of them clearly weren't that fundamental if they were able to just, you know, shut down for a couple of weeks, and nothing was impacted. I know that's not the case for all of them. Like there's some, you know, that the little break they managed and then got back into, and they are important. But I just feel like there's a lot of jobs out there that just really aren't that important. And it's like we're almost just doing them for the sake of someone having a job so that they can have money. But it's like, instead of doing all that, why don't we just, like I said, you know, share the essential service jobs, the jobs we need, you know, share the community service type jobs we need, you know, for, you know, taking care of like our towns and societies and such. And then the rest of the time we can all just like chill and hang out together, you know? And then I know there's the whole idea of, you know, oh, but what about, you know, the money and the economy and things like that? But it's like, isn't that all just like a bit of, not a farce, but, you know, it's kind of is just what we've made it anyway. Like we make the rules of that anyway. Especially in this day and age where everything's like so electronic. Like what even is money, really, when you look at it in that aspect? Like in this day and age, it's essentially just numbers on a screen, like an electronic screen. Those numbers could say anything. Like we could literally change those numbers to say anything. You know, like you could just add a couple of zeros at the end of everyone's bank account, and what is it going to matter? Because it's just a digital thing on a screen that we've put placement on. You know, so it's like, instead you could just give everyone enough money for working their essential jobs, and then they have the rest of the time to just hang out and do whatever with their money and have enough money to do so. You know, like, doesn't mean you need to be, you know, going and giving everyone like unlimited money or something, so we all go a bit chaotic with greed and buy more than we need and litter the world with, you know, unnecessary nonsense. But I think you could still do it in a way that people are like paid enough to not only live comfortably, you know, and have all their basic needs met, but also have enough left over to plan and spend their time doing things they want, like going on holidays, you know, buying a new outfit occasionally, or, you know, just, you know, I feel like within reason, you could easily balance it out so that people have enough money for the things they need and want, and still all the jobs and things that we need in society are being taken care of, rather than where at the moment it kind of just seems like a bit of a, you know, dog eat dog type world scenario where it's all like competition and climbing to the top of the pyramid, and, you know, and I guess, you know, maybe my idea does sound a bit like socialism or communism or something like that, but I just feel like when we all are contributing to this society already anyway, and we, you know, we're technically meant to all be in this together, that surely we could just organize something a bit easier like that, where all the jobs we think are necessary are taken care of, you know, then everyone has a job, there's a job that's suitable for everyone, and then we don't have to work as much, but then we all have enough money to have our needs met, and then we just, you know, have a really balanced society in between rest, work, and play. Whereas at the moment, I feel like it's really unbalanced in that aspect, and people, you know, are getting burnt out and mental health issues and not having enough time to spend on themselves and with their friends and family and stuff like that. It just feels like surely that's something we could absolutely work towards, which kind of, you know, leads me to my other point, with the COVID lockdown and thoughts, is like, in a way, it did kind of almost give me the feeling of it's almost like a little trial run for something else that's going to come in the future, which I feel I've heard other people kind of like theorize about and stuff, saying like, you know, in the future they feel like there's going to be an event like COVID but even bigger. And I'm kind of picking up that vibe too, maybe, you know, especially with the whole like, you know, theories and rumors and stuff about it, you know, a new world order plan or things like that, or, you know, something, just some bizarre like thing happening in the future where things like change dramatically, or, you know, we're all in a lockdown again or something, that, you know, especially with things like AI and stuff like that taking off, And then, you know, the electronic aspect of our lives in that regard, just like, you know, taking a whole new leap yet again, kind of like how the internet and stuff like really changed our worlds and societies. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was like another sort of lockdown event in order to like integrate us into our new version of reality, almost like, you know, the new earth shift, or, you know, all these sort of ideas and stuff out there of things and something that might be coming. It does make sense to me that there could also possibly be like a lockdown type scenario in order to help people integrate to a new way of living or a new way of life or a new way of running society. So yeah, I guess just something to like be mindful and wary of, not in like a to be scared way, but I guess just to not be taken aback and to be reassured. Like I feel like COVID brought a lot of anxieties and fears up in people, the COVID lockdowns. So I guess just looking at it from a more like reassuring, positive experience of like all the things that such a scenario could bring us and the changes that it could bring us to have a more cohesive and functioning society where we are all kind of being looked after and getting what we need out of this world and out of this life. So yeah, so I guess that's just my quick little COVID talk. So yeah, I guess if you know things do get weird at some point in the future and there is like another like lockdown type thing, you know, relevant to, you know, government or whatever it is, you know, making changes or new decisions, to just not be too alarmed and overwhelmed and go into, you know, chaos mode, you know, and just take it day by day, breathe and try and see like the silver linings of it all. Yeah, and like again, I said, I'm not saying anything like that will happen, but just, you know, just some little thoughts and concept ideas to just, you know, ruminate on. But yeah, so yeah, that was just my quick little like thoughts and stuff about that and the COVID lockdown and things that could be to come. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a lovely, wonderful day. Sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always.